Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden and welcome back to Water Week. This whole week I have been focusing on water management in the garden, and it's been quite the intense week. I know it's been an intense week of videos. It's been an intense week for me because there's just so much information. And so I apologize for the complicated videos that I've been putting out this week. But I do think they're important to have that information, to have it on my channel, so that if any of you or anyone searching for videos can find this information and to be able to have answers. So I just wanted to say that. I know these videos are super complicated. I'm not going to continue with super complicated videos because I don't think I'll be able to keep up with videos if they're all that complicated. But again, I think it's really, really good information. So today we are going to work on drip system maintenance. And in my Master Gardeners class, the presenter, her name is Maureen Clark. She is a landscape designer in Solano County, which is one county over from me. She went through the maintenance that you need to do pretty regularly on your drip system to continue it running smoothly, basically. So I have to say, yeah, I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not really good at, I have this whole checklist, and I was listening to the class, and listening to her talk, and I realized, I don't do any of this stuff. It doesn't mean that I feel bad about it. It doesn't mean that I'm doing anything wrong. My garden is still getting watered. My garden is still getting well taken care of. There's just, things that I can work on to improve my techniques is basically what I want to say. So I don't want to make anybody feel bad when I say something. It's just, we're all learning here, right? We're all learning how to get things to run smoothly and efficiently and effectively. So step one on the maintenance checklist is adjusting the controller to reflect changes in weather. And I usually already do this, like when it's raining or when it gets hot. I have the Ratio system, which I can use on my phone, and it makes it so easy to adjust it. It actually has, it's connected to my local weather, so I can set it up to connect to the weather changes, the weather patterns, and it will decide when there's going to be a rain skip and when there's going to be like an extra watering, right? If it's really hot. I like a little bit more control. I don't know. I like to micromanage my system, so I kind of like to do it manually, but it would totally work if you got a system that was hooked up to local weather. I know Ratio, you can actually purchase a temperature gauge, a rain gauge that you can put up in your house to make it even more effective and even more accurate with the rain skips and all that kind of stuff. So I might look into that and see what that's about, just because I love the Ratio system so much. But for now, I'm just doing it manually. So right now, sorry about the sun. Right now, my system is turned off because in January we had almost a month straight of rain, and my soil was all bogged down with water that I was kind of letting everything dry out. So it hasn't been running at all. The lawn sprinklers haven't been running at all, and the irrigation hasn't been running at all. But yesterday I noticed that a couple of my plants were looking a little bit parched, so I took my hose out, and of course I didn't put it away, to actually water some things. So I know it's time to start my drip irrigation and my lawn sprinklers again. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that right now. I'll take you guys along on the Ratio app. All right, so opening my app on my phone, you can see that all of my zones are turned off. They're disabled. So I'm just going to go around and I'm going to enable each of the zones, and then I have to actually decrease the amount of time that I'm running everything, because really the last time I had this going was in the fall. We have very warm falls, so my timing was on for a long time. I also am changing the frequency. I was going back and forth between every 3 days and every 4 days. There's no right answer to any of this. I'm just going to make a good educated guess, and then I'll just check. I'll check my lawn, I'll check my plants, and I'll adjust as needed. So here you can see I am decreasing my front lawn and my backyard lawn to just 5 minutes, and I'm going to do that every 3 days. I'll see how that goes. I think that's all I'm going to need really at this point, because my application rate for my sprinklers is pretty high. So I think that will be good for me. So then I went around to a couple of the other zones, decreased the amount of time, and did this on each of the zones in my system. All right, so my system is all set now. I have set it for every 3 to 4 days as of right now, depending on whether we're talking about the lawn or whether we're talking about the drip system. And that is my best guess as of right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch my grass and I'm gonna watch my plants and I'm gonna see if that timing is effective and accurate. Just based on the weather and how cold it is and how windy it is, you kind of just have to watch it. So I can go and I can adjust it if it looks like the plants aren't getting enough water, or I can turn it up and turn it more often if it looks like, what am I saying? You know what I'm saying. I can adjust it if it looks not right. Okay, so step number 2 on the checklist, the maintenance checklist, is replacing the battery on your timer or your controller. So I have a Ratio system, like I said, and my Ratio 3 system has one of those coin batteries, like I forget what they're called. Are they C batteries? The ones that like you put in watches and stuff like that. So those batteries last 5 to 10 years. So I actually don't have to do this on my checklist, or I can already check it off. But if you have one of those push button controllers that take like a AA or a AAA battery, go ahead and change your batteries once a year, like you would if you had a smoke detector. Also, if you have a timer hooked up to your hose bib or faucet, go ahead and change the batteries as well, because those need batteries changing more often as well. Okay, next step is checking for leaks, clogs, and breaks in either your manifold, like this guy right here, or if you have something connected to your hose bib or your faucet, you want to check that as well for leaks. So basically you want to run it and you want to see if anything is kind of spraying out, if you need to fix it with some Teflon tape, and then also you want to clean out your filters and your backflow preventers. So I already know that it doesn't have any leaks because I've checked it, but if I come here and I unscrew this filter, look at this mess. This is exactly what it looked like. I mean, I did not set this up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what a mess. So it's a good thing that I'm out here and I'm cleaning this up. So I'm just gonna take a soft toothbrush and I'm just gonna kind of clean this whole mess up as much as I can. Clean this. Okay, and then my filter, at least on this system, it can kind of pop out and you can see, hopefully you can see, it's pretty dirty. I mean, it's not super dirty, but there's definitely some debris in there. So I'm just gonna take my toothbrush and I'm just gonna kind of clean it out and get all that debris out to make sure that it's working properly. You can also run your system and then open it using these kind of valves. If you have something like this, that will get all that water out of there, but you do need to open these and use the toothbrush to get whatever debris is off of those filters at least once a year. That's a good practice to do. Obviously I haven't done it so I did it this year, yay. All right, so that's all done. Now the next step I've been dreading because I know this is going to be a big job. I've got my tools out already, but that is checking your drip irrigation for leaks and breaks. Leaks and breaks can happen, just from things loosening up, like a shovel that you've accidentally jammed into your tubing, sun damage, wear and tear, heavy foot traffic, animals. Actually, I have a good friend and her poor garden, they have squirrels that I guess like to chew through her drip irrigation to get water. And I keep telling her to put up like a fountain or a bird bath or something like that so the squirrels have access to other water, but she's just so mad at the squirrels she doesn't want to do that. So squirrels can definitely chew through your drip system. You just want to make sure that you're checking it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn on my drip system. We'll be able to see it right away where my leaks are, but then once I fix those leaks, I'll go through again and I'll see if I can find any other hidden ones. Okay, so the zone I just turned on is my whole front yard right here. Not this area, not my swoop, but basically from here all the way over here. I don't think it includes the crepe myrtle garden bed, but I'll check. But if you guys can see what I'm seeing, I actually didn't even know about this leak. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Look at that. Okay, so that's when it's really bad. You usually can't see something like that. So I will address that one. But if you come over here, I'm gonna be really quiet. guys hear that? I've heard this, and I know there's a leak somewhere around here. There it is. All right, so I gotta fix that one too. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it because I'm getting rained on right now, or sprayed. I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fix these 2 leaks. All right, hopefully you all could see that. So I had to replace this piece here, and then I re-tacked in that 1/4 inch spaghetti tubing right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run it and I'm gonna see if I fixed the leaks. Okay, it's starting. Did I get it? I think I got it. Good, okay, so that's all fixed. Let's go check this other one over here. Good, that's fixed too. Perfect. All right, I hear another leak. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. I forgot about that. So when I cleaned out these pots, I just cut that. So I gotta come in here and I gotta put a goof plug right there. And another one right there. Somebody left an advertisement right there. All right, so I need 2 goof plugs. And oh my goodness, wouldn't you know, this is where my goof plugs usually go. And I think I was telling you guys yesterday that I literally always run out of supplies. Always. I am so bad at keeping this stocked. So I'm gonna have to run to the store. I was just there yesterday. So I'm gonna have to run to the store and I'm gonna have to get goof plugs. But here's what goof plugs normally look like, and that's how you cap those 1/4 inch spaghetti tubing to stop it from going. Oh, I'm so frustrated right now. I was just there yesterday. Bummer. I'm so annoyed at myself. I was literally at Home Depot yesterday, literally looking at all the items. I had goof plugs in my hand and I thought, oh, I know I have these at home. And I don't. So I'm gonna add another item to the maintenance checklist, and that is check your supplies, make sure you're fully stocked up and ready to go for the gardening season. All right, then the last item on the drip irrigation maintenance checklist is going around and checking all the emitters and making sure that they are working. And this is something that I do all the time. This is one of those things that I definitely do. Whenever I'm working in an area, I always turn on the drip system and make sure that I can see that each emitter is working, because I have had some experience where they haven't worked properly. And now I know that's because I haven't stuck with the same brand. If you saw in my supply kit, I have different brands of different emitters, and that is something that you don't want to do. You want to stick with the same brand. So when I put a different brand of drip emitter onto a another brand of tubing, they're just not going to work properly. They don't all work together as well as you want them to. So from now on, I'm going to stick with the same brand. I do Rainbird you can get at Home Depot. Home Depot is the closest big box store to me, or the closest place that sells drip irrigation to me. So I'm sticking with Rainbird. So I will eventually, as I replace different things, my whole garden will be with Rainbird. But it doesn't have to be Rainbird. If Lowe's is closest to you, I don't know which one Lowe's sells. But I know like Ace Hardware sells Rain Drip, and then my garden center sells something completely different. So you just want to stick with the same thing. So the last thing on the checklist is just going around, making sure that all your emitters are working, and making sure that your emitters are not too close to the crown of the plant. Let me show you. So here's my Oklahoma redbud tree right here. And I actually didn't even hook up drip for this Oklahoma redbud tree, so it hasn't really been going, but you can see I have this random tubing with an emitter that is not a Rainbird emitter, so this is coming out as well. This was right at the crown of the tree, right where you don't want it to be. You want it to be like out here where it's gonna water the roots of the tree along the drip line. I also have this random one right here. Before I planted the redbud tree, I had a bunch of plants right here, so that's why. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to plug off both of these, or I guess I could actually cut this and replace the tubing. You know what? I'm gonna do that. But I just have to plug off both of these so that they're not overwatering that Oklahoma redbud. So you just wanna go around and you wanna make sure the emitters are not too close to the crown of the plant, and then you wanna make sure they're all working properly. All right, so this video just kind of took a turn. So I have to go to Home Depot now to get some things, and I don't have time to come back and finish filming. So that's okay. I will just walk you guys through everything. There's only one more thing left on my list, so it's no big deal. I think this is good to see real life in the garden and to see really what things are like. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what it is, but when it comes to drip irrigation and the supplies, it's like something. I always run out of something, and I really need to keep like a supply list or something like that. I don't know. I will figure it out later today. Anyway, so I will be going to Home Depot, and I will be getting more goof plugs and whatever else I need, and I'll need to cap those other leaks that I still have. But once I cap those, what I'm gonna do, and the last thing on the list, is you need to flush out the system. So what you need to do is you need to take off the 1/2-inch end closures, the figure 8s, and you need to remove it, start your system, and let it run through for a couple minutes just to get all the debris out of the 1/2-inch tubing. And so that's just going to make everything work a little bit smoother and make sure there's no clogs or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this checklist in the description down below so that you guys can write it down for yourselves. I don't want to give you guys this list because I don't have permission to share this list, but it'll be very similar. I'll just add check your supplies. That'll be my addition to my maintenance checklist. So I do want to show you guys, look at my Chinese fringe flower. Look at how beautiful this plant is, and there's buds everywhere. There's going to be more blooms. I do think this one, if you look at the leaves, I do think this one has a bit of chlorosis, so I think I will give it some chelated iron maybe next week. But over here, let me show you all this one. This one's looking really, really good, and it is not chlorotic at all. But look at how beautiful those blooms are. I just love this plant. It's like daffodils. It's like blooms when you really, really need them. Anyway, distracted by blooms, of course. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful. Now is a fantastic time to go out and do all your maintenance. Obviously, if you still have snow on the ground, wait until the snow goes away. But our gardening season starts, my last frost is February 28th. So our gardening season basically starts March 1st. So now, mid-February, this is the time to get all this stuff ready to go, so that once gardening season starts, I can go all in, and I'm super excited about it. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get into your garden today.